You've decided to open a pension or an ISA. Well done, that's excellent work. But now you've got to choose investment funds that you're going to invest in within your ISA or your pension. And there are hundreds, maybe even thousands to choose from, and it can actually feel like finding a needle in a haystack. Well, I found a new free tool to help you choose, and I want to show you how you can filter and whittle down the options in less than 5 minutes. Hi and welcome back to the channel. My name is Pete Matthew and I'm a chartered financial planner based here in the UK. Bit of a different look this week. I'm in a very bland hotel room with terrible lighting, so I hope you'll forgive me for that. But it doesn't matter because we're going to dive straight into the computer and I'm going to show you how to use a website called Pickafund to choose the investment funds that you're going to use. Let's dive in. So here is the homepage of Pickafund, and there are some broad categories to help us do an initial whittling down. But before you do that, if you go up to the top, you can see that there are 10,862 funds available. Clearly we need to whittle that down. Now I tend to say that for novice investors particularly, multi-asset investing is a great place to start. Simply means that you spread your money around lots of different kinds of asset, different kinds of stuff, and all around the world. It's good for diversification, spreading your money around. And that is here in the fund type, the first category. You'll see multi-asset here. Let's click that. And we're already down to 2,000 funds. We've reduced our list by 80% already. Then we need to talk about risk. Now, Pickafund's parlance for risk is investment style. And I've done videos on risk, I'll link them in the description. But for today's purposes, I'm just going to choose moderately adventurous, a little bit higher than balanced, but not too crazy and gung-ho. And you can see that we're down to 401 funds. We've reduced our list of options by 96% already. But still, 401 is too many. So let's click into that and see those 401 funds. And now you've got a very long list of available options. But right at the top, we've got two boxes, basic filters and advanced filters. We're going to choose one or two basic filters. Firstly, we're going to choose whether this fund that we want to pick is available within an ISA. So that's an easy box to tick. That'll take 401 down to 294. The types of units, if you're growing wealth for the future, I suggest you stick with accumulation units. Lots of reasons for that, which we don't have time to go into today. We're down to 252 funds. Now, one of the easiest filters to whittle down the list really heavily is ongoing charges. Obviously, you want to keep your costs low. Every pound that is being spent on costs for a fund is a pound that isn't compounding for your future. So for our purposes today, I'm going to take this right down to 0.3% a year. So we're talking mostly passive multi-asset funds here. You can see that's whittled down the list to 19. I reckon we can go further. And right down at the bottom of this page is net assets. So you want a fund which has a decent size to it, particularly if you're going passive. So I'm going to just drag this up to, pick a figure, $500 million. I'm going to go to somewhere near 750 million, 750 million. Okay, so decent size. We're now just 7 funds in. So let's apply that. And we're back to our list of funds. And obvious thing to do is to sort by total return. Let's use 5 years. 1 year is too short. And turns out HSBC Global Strategy Dynamic Portfolio is the best returning fund with our filters applied over 5 years. As it happens, it's also the best returning fund over 3 years. So seems like a reasonable place to start. Now you'll see that I've shortlisted a couple of these funds. You can add them and remove them from your shortlist. Simply saves them for future reference, really. Now you can go into advanced filters as well. I'm not going to do that today because we're down to 7 from more than 10,000. But what I would do then is click into one of the funds that takes your fancy. And what that does is it allows you to compare your chosen fund with the peers that were left in the list, the short list of 7 funds in our case. Now there's a whole load of information here, all really useful stuff. You can compare your chosen fund with the others. Now I'm just going to go to the performance section and look at Sharpe ratio, which is along here. And it's a useful little ratio which kind of flattens out risk from different kinds of funds and says if the risk was the same in all of them, exactly the same, which ones performed better. And it's simply a higher number is a better Sharpe ratio. So if we look at this line here, you can see that the Sharpe ratio of the HSBC fund is higher than both Fidelity on the left, Vanguard on the right, but we can flick through and look at the other funds in our shortlist and see how that particular reference compares. And you can do that with other metrics as well, and it's definitely a good idea to do that. I think we're approaching a pretty good option here, and really a few good options that we can choose from with our chosen filters. And here's one of the bits I like best about Pickafund. If you click the Inv button, you can see where you can buy this fund, on what platforms. And you can see that the major ones are listed here: AJ Bell, Interactive Investor, and Hargreaves Lansdown. And there's a bunch of others listed underneath the Other button, from Charles Stanley, Best Invest, Fidelity, Halifax, iWeb, loads of them. Okay, that was easy, right? And there's loads more stuff that Pickafund can do. Best thing to do is just register for a free account and just play with it. You can't break anything, it's just research. But then you can save your filters, try different ones, and just have some fun. So remember the easy filters that you can use to whittle down a big list of funds really quickly. We've got fund type. I chose multi-asset today. We've got risks profile, which Pickafund calls investment style. And then of course there's charges. If you register with Pickafund, you can create watch lists, you can choose favorites, you can place alerts on funds, and you get kind of a dashboard which brings all this stuff together and is really easy to jump off to the various places. I'm really liking Pickafund. I think you will too, so definitely check it out. There's a link in the description. Well, I hope that was helpful. If it was, you know what to do. Hit the like button, subscribe to the channel if you're not already. It really, really helps, so thank you for that. I will see you in the next video where hopefully my lighting will be a little bit more like normal.